2 years after my wedding, my husband's best friend asked me to meet him alone and admitted he'd been protecting Ryan since the night before I became his wife. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 31, and until that afternoon, I thought I had a marriage people would envy. Ryan and I had been together almost 6 years, married for 2. He called me during lunch, kissed me before work, and recently started talking about turning our spare bedroom into a nursery. Then Marcus called. We met at a coffee shop across town. He looked exhausted and barely touched his drink. "Emily, before you and Ryan start a family, there's something you deserve to know." That sentence scared me more than anything that followed. "What happened?" Marcus stared at the table. "Ryan cheated on you." I couldn't speak. Then he added, "It happened the night before your wedding." My stomach dropped. That night, Ryan had texted me just after midnight. "Tomorrow you become my wife. Best day of my life." Apparently, he'd sent that message after leaving the rehearsal dinner and meeting a woman from his college circle at a hotel bar. Marcus had been there. He saw Ryan disappear upstairs with her. When Ryan returned almost an hour later, Marcus confronted him. Ryan admitted what happened and begged him not to destroy the wedding hours before it started. So Marcus stayed quiet for 2 years. I stared at him. "Why are you telling me now?" His expression changed. "Because last week Ryan asked me to lie for him again." My chest tightened. "About what?" Instead of answering, Marcus unlocked his phone. He showed me an old conversation between him and Ryan. The first message was dated 3 weeks after our honeymoon. Ryan had written, "If Emily asks, tell her I was with you Friday night." I read it twice. Then another message appeared from 6 months later. Another excuse. Another night Marcus was supposed to cover. I looked up at him. "How many times did he ask you to lie?" Marcus slowly scrolled down. Too many messages appeared. Then he stopped on one dated 4 days ago. "I didn't come here just to tell you what Ryan did before your wedding," he said quietly. "I came because I think he's doing it again." Marcus didn't know exactly what Ryan had done 4 days ago. He only knew Ryan had texted him at 8:17 that evening. "If Emily asks, tell her we're watching the game at your place." The problem was, Ryan had told me something completely different. He said he was working late. I suddenly remembered that night clearly. Ryan came home after midnight, took a shower almost immediately, and left his clothes in the laundry room instead of our bedroom. At the time, none of it seemed important. Now every detail felt different. "Did you answer him?" I asked. Marcus shook his head. "No, that's why I'm telling you now." He forwarded me the messages, then gave me one more detail. Ryan had mentioned meeting someone near the Riverside Hotel. Marcus didn't know who. I thanked him and went home without calling my husband. Ryan was already there. He kissed me like nothing had happened. "How was your afternoon?" "Fine." For the first time in 6 years, I lied without feeling guilty. That night, Ryan fell asleep beside me. I waited almost an hour before quietly getting out of bed. I wasn't going through his phone. Not yet. Instead, I opened our shared credit card account. 4 days earlier, at 9:42 p.m., Ryan's card had been charged at the Riverside Hotel restaurant. Then I noticed another charge, a bottle of wine, 2 dinners. And something else, a parking fee from the hotel garage at 2:11 the next morning. My hands started shaking, but what scared me most wasn't the time. It was the hotel name, because I'd seen it before. I opened the account history and searched. The Riverside appeared again. And again. The oldest charge was from 3 weeks after our honeymoon. I didn't need more hotel charges. I needed to know who Ryan was meeting. So I stopped searching backward and waited for him to make another mistake. 3 days later, Ryan came home and casually mentioned that Thursday would be another late night. "Quarterly reports," he said. "Don't wait up." I smiled. "Okay." Thursday evening, I watched him leave in the navy shirt I had bought him for our anniversary. 20 minutes later, I drove to the Riverside Hotel. I hated what I was doing, but I hated being lied to more. I parked across from the entrance and waited. At 8:36, Ryan arrived. No laptop bag. No coworkers. He stood near the lobby bar, checking his phone every few seconds. Then a woman walked toward him. I recognized her immediately. Lauren Mitchell, Ryan's college ex. I'd met her once, at our wedding. She had hugged me that day, congratulated me, and told me Ryan and I looked perfect together. Now Ryan wrapped his arms around her, not a friendly hug. He kissed her cheek, rested his hand against her lower back, and followed her toward the elevators. Then I noticed something that made my stomach turn. Ryan reached into his pocket. He removed his wedding ring and slipped it into his wallet. I didn't follow them upstairs. I didn't need to. I took one photo through my windshield, then drove home. By the time Ryan returned after midnight, I was already in bed. Reports were brutal, he whispered. I pretended to be half asleep. Everything finished? Finally. Then he kissed my forehead, the same way he always did. I stared into the darkness long after he fell asleep. I could confront him tomorrow. I could show him the photo. But Ryan had lied to my face for 2 years while I trusted him completely. I wanted him to understand what that uncertainty felt like. So the next morning, I made a decision. I wasn't going to tell Ryan I knew. I was going to make him believe I had a secret of my own. The first thing I changed was small enough that Ryan couldn't accuse me of anything. I stopped explaining myself. If I stayed late at work, I didn't text him every detail. When my phone buzzed, I sometimes smiled before turning the screen face down. Nothing dramatic, just enough for him to notice. Within 4 days, Ryan started asking questions. Who keeps texting you? People from work. What people? I shrugged. That answer bothered him more than any lie could have. Then Friday night, I dressed for dinner with 2 coworkers and sprayed on a perfume I hadn't worn in months. Ryan watched me from the bedroom doorway. You look nice. Thanks. Who's going? I named my coworkers, but he barely listened. When I returned around 11, he was still awake. The next morning, I found my phone on his side of the bed. Ryan had tried the wrong passcode enough times to lock it temporarily. I stared at him over breakfast. Were you looking through my phone? He nearly dropped his coffee. No, why would I? Another lie. This time I almost laughed. That evening, he finally cracked. Emily, is there someone else? I looked at him. For 1 second, I saw genuine fear on his face. The same fear I'd been carrying since Marcus sat across from me in that coffee shop. No, I said calmly. Why would you think that? He started listing everything. The late nights, the phone, the perfume, the way I'd become distant. Then he said something that stopped me cold. People don't suddenly change like this unless they're hiding someone. I held his gaze. Interesting. Ryan went silent. I walked upstairs, opened the photo I'd taken outside the Riverside Hotel, and sent Marcus one question. Was Lauren the woman Ryan cheated with before our wedding? Marcus answered less than a minute later. No. Then another message appeared. Emily, that's what I was afraid you'd ask. Marcus's next message made my stomach drop. The woman before your wedding was Hannah. Hannah, my maid of honor. My best friend since college. The woman who zipped my dress the next morning, held my bouquet during the ceremony, and cried while Ryan promised to be faithful to me. I called Marcus immediately. Why didn't you tell me it was her? His voice went quiet. Because I was ashamed, Emily. Ryan told me everything that night, including Hannah's name. I convinced myself keeping quiet would protect you. Then I kept making the same cowardly choice for 2 years. For the first time, I understood that Ryan wasn't the only person who had taken away my right to choose. Marcus had too. Then another memory hit me. 6 months after the wedding, Hannah slowly disappeared from my life. She blamed work. I believed her. The next morning, I placed Marcus's messages, the Riverside transactions, and my photo of Ryan with Lauren across the kitchen table. Ryan stopped cold when he saw them. Emily, you've had 2 years to explain. His excuses came quickly. Hannah had been a one-time mistake, but Lauren hadn't started recently. Ryan finally admitted he'd reconnected with her 3 weeks after our honeymoon. The Riverside charges were theirs. Not every visit ended upstairs, he insisted. That somehow made it worse. This wasn't one drunken betrayal. Hannah had betrayed me before the vows. Lauren had been woven through my marriage almost from the beginning. Then Ryan asked the question that told me everything about him. So there really isn't another man? No, I slid off my wedding ring. You removed yours to pretend you weren't married. I'm removing mine because I'm done being married to you. Ryan reached for me. I stepped back. Before leaving, I sent Hannah one message. I know what happened the night before my wedding. Don't contact me again. Then I blocked her. That afternoon, I called an attorney. Ryan had spent 2 years deciding how much truth I deserved. Now the decision belonged to me. And I chose a life where I would never again have to investigate the person sleeping beside me. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.